Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Laura. You're so kind. It has been an amazing, I just am so lucky to have been part of this dynamic trio. It's given a lot of purpose to my life in the last 2 years. And I also want to just applaud my fellow coalition members. I'm so impressed and I hope I don't disappoint you, but man, here I am asking for your vote for treasurer and I just want to get you money so you can do what you've just set out. I'm really excited about this. So I want to tell you a little bit of the story about me. So I'm a born and bred Democrat. My grandparents were Irish immigrants to the USA, and my dad was the first person in his family to attend college. As Catholic Irish Americans, we worshiped the Kennedys and ignored the Pope. And that's because the Democratic Party is the party that cares about people. It creates opportunity and it makes sure there is a safety net for all, which is a creed I really still believe in. We all have our creation story as Democrats, and I really would love to hear yours. We can't all hear it tonight, but I hope over the coming days, weeks, and years, I would love to hear your stories. Maybe you haven't always been so happy with the party. My 20-year-old son keeps me on my toes with his questions about some of the compromises the Democrats have made. And I hear that. But for me, my story about becoming a Democrat definitely comes from my parents. My mother ran for state representative in my home state of Connecticut, losing, sadly, in the Reagan landslide. But then 2 years later, I went with my parents to watch the swearing in the Capitol of our newly elected Democratic US representative that they had worked tirelessly to elect. And then I also grew up watching my parents work as local officials elected to either planning and zoning, and my mother was the local election official, the actual registrar of voters in my town. So I guess it's been there from the beginning for me. But they worked hard. They believed that to make change, to make the world better, you have to work through politics, policy, and government. That's the example I saw. So following college, I wanted to change the world. And so I became an environmental grassroots organizer. I was starting to get worried about a thing called climate change. Anyway, still with us today. A mentor of mine had suggested, why don't I go work on Bill Clinton's campaign? So this is 92, I am aging myself. But I wasn't actually that excited about him. I definitely wanted the Democrat to win. But I really wanted to push more progressive environmental policies. So that's what I went and did. And this path eventually led to policy school and I wanted to go to policy school to craft solutions that work. So, and that's where I have focused my professional career. So I joined Democrats Abroad ahead of the midterms in 2002, after W was elected in 2000. 2016 was shocking, but 2000 is when the horror began. I did do a bit of organizing in 2008 and was so excited for my country watching the swearing in of the first African-American president. I really thought we had turned a page. When the Democrats lost the House in 2010, I felt so powerless to help from abroad, but hoped people would see that it was the Republicans who were to blame for stopping President Obama from achieving more. When I woke on November 9th, 2016, I saw how wrong I was. And like many of us on this call tonight and many people, I felt that I had not personally done enough to avert this catastrophe. And I vowed that I would never, ever feel that way again. So when I showed up for an event at DA in early 2017, I was really hungry to get involved. But I really didn't find it very obvious what to do when I showed up to be an activist. I wasn't sure how to get stuck in. And as Laura explained, she found me at an event outside DA, but I did soon find her and I joined her team of voter registration volunteers, going as far as to fly up to Scotland overnight in the run up to the 2018 midterms. Because as I said, I was going to do everything I could to get every vote that I could. And I was hooked. I then joined Laura and Linda as co-chair. I was thrilled to find something that directly made an impact back home, increasing the overseas vote, which can be the margin of victory. We've done a lot in these last 2 years together. I have worked with global leads across Democrats Abroad in other countries, Get Out the Vote leads, communication leads, and through this voting champion program that I designed. I worked with volunteers from all across the UK, and while the pandemic has been hard, Zoom has really enabled some amazing connections and identifying such great volunteers across the UK. And even when we can meet in person again, we have to keep that going. And we need to have in-person meetings all across the UK because we've got some amazing volunteers all over. I initiated monthly action nights in May because there's such hunger to get things done. People want to do everything they can. I learned a lot. What I know now, though, is that we can achieve so much more if the infrastructure of Democrats Abroad is organized and the strategy of Democrats Abroad is developed to put increasing the overseas vote at its heart. So I want to see DAUK become the hub for democratic voting Americans, providing the most effective opportunities to make positive progressive change in the United States. They shouldn't need to organize an indivisible London. It's here in DA where you can make a difference. So what I want to do is establish a clear strategy with objectives to grow membership, cultivate and empower volunteers, and encourage clear communications and transparency across the organization. So what will I bring to the job personally? I've got a strategic focus. I've got behavior change know-how so I can influence audiences internally and externally. I've got analytical skills, and Laura and Linda will tell you, I love me a spreadsheet, puts order in the world, and I love to count. So treasurer is the job for me. I've got a sense of urgency to get things done. And I like to say, and generally people agree, I'm pleasantly persistent. And I think that's what you have to do. I've got that after 16 years working the bureaucracy of Transport for London. To actually get things done, you must be pleasantly persistent. I don't give up. So what will I do for you? As treasurer, besides just keeping the books with attention to detail, I'm establish a clear financial strategy linked to our objectives on a 2-year horizon, leaving us in an excellent position for the next 2 years and the run up to the presidential election. I want to consult and engage with all of you to ensure that the best ideas are incorporated in the way we do our finances and how we link that to our strategy. I want to empower budget holders. Once we've set the budget, go for it. Demonstrate what you've done, show me the performance indicators, but I will not micromanage. We've got outcomes that we want to achieve, and I want to empower you to do it. And then I want to maximize fundraising opportunities and reinvest that funding into DAUK with all that new revenue. So all the candidates for officer positions this year have talked about the need of increasing voter turnout to be at the heart of what DAUK does. So it's beyond just this coalition. But I'm the only candidate who has had that as my reason for being for the last 2 years. And I can bring this experience to develop an effective strategy and action plan. And I really, really want to do that. Coupled with my professional experience, developing and implementing strategy across multiple organizations, driving organizational improvement, and delivering outcomes, and expertise in behavior change, I can get things done. And along with a fantastic team of Wen, Brett, and Steph, we will get things done. Not only that, I promise to make my financial reports fun during the DA Council meeting by wearing my blue hair. If anyone remembers that from the election night inauguration party. Let's have fun together because actually this is fun. We're doing good stuff and we want to drive these improvements forward together. Midterms matter and we need to start now. There are roughly 250,000 Americans of voting age in the UK. If you vote for us, we'll set the strategy and direction to ensure we can recruit as many of them so that we can make progressive impact back home. Thank you so much for being here tonight and listening to us. And I really hope that you will vote for us and make this happen. And we want to hear your ideas. Thank you.